So we're going to review for the test on Unit 5. All right, so we started with basic first coordinate graphs. Remember, one of the things you want to do on these is look at the scale right off the bat, right? Halfway to 24 is 12, so these are going up, right, by 12. So to plot this table, 1 goes with 36, 2 goes with 72, and 3 goes with 108, right? So this is what, 84, 96, and there's 108, so it goes right there. Plot the data and draw a ray through the points. Is the relationship proportional? Okay, so can I draw a line that goes through 0, 0? It's a ray, I apologize. When it's in the coordinate plane, it's a line, so it's going to be a ray. Can I draw a ray through these points starting at 0, 0 or through 0, 0? I can. I didn't do it that well, but the answer is yes, it's proportional. What's K? Well, K is right there, right? All of these are equal. They're all, you could also have done it that way. They all equal 36. So K equals 36. What does that mean? It means that the equation, all right, so we have cost versus hours. So cost is 36 times the number of hours. That's the equation. It costs 30, so the unit rate here, so let's understand what it means. The unit rate is $36 per hour. The unit rate and K and the slope are all the same thing. Now, in this case, since it's proportional, the slope is not 3. Each box is worth 12, right? The slope, the constant of proportionality, and that number in front of h and the unit rate, they're all the same number, right? And this is in the form y equals kx. In the last lesson, we learned we changed to y equals mx plus b when it's not a proportion. But this is in the form y equals k times x. K is 36, the slope is 36, the unit rate is $36 an hour to rent this boat. It's $0 to get it. We start at 0, but it's $36 for each hour. All right, so find K. So if I say find K, that means it's proportional. Now, to find K, it's always y over x. So it's 2 over 12 equals 1/6, right? So all of those should equal 1/6. Write an equation. It's y equals 1/6x, because these are in the form y equals kx. It says proportional. So it starts at 0, 0. If it says proportional, right, there's a 0 there that we're not writing. Find the rate of pay for the bartender and write an equation to describe the proportion. So it's proportional. So it's dollars per hour. So the dollars go up top, the hours on the bottom. So both of these better equal the same things. Well, I'll do the easier one. 36 divided by 2. Oh, it's 18. So K is 18. That means the unit rate, if you're asked that, then you put units on it. It's $18 per hour. Write the rate of pay. So that's the $18 per hour. Write an equation. That's where you need K, because you're going to write P. Please don't use Y and X if I give you P and H. You get no credit. So it's P equals 18H. For every hour he works, he gets $18. So 1 hour, 18 times 1. 2 hours, 18 times 2, 36. 5 hours, 18 times 5, which is 90. So we're going to find the slope, right? It's this, how much it goes up. It's not just the length of that side. The rise is 10. It rises up 10. It runs along the ground 5. And so the slope is 10 over 5. But we always simplify our fractions. And don't leave this 2 over 1. The slope there is 2. Same thing here. The rise is 4. The run is 12. You're not going to leave it that way. You're going to simplify that to 1/3. Now, what does that mean? Right? If you have a rise of 1 and a run of 3, that ramp and this run would perfectly line up, because a ratio of 4 to 12 and 1 to 3 are proportional, and they have the same slope. This one, so let's get our good intersections. There's one there. You want to get more than 2, because you want to make sure you have them equally spaced. You can do it anywhere. You go down until you're even with the previous one. The rise here is 4. The run is 1, because the scales are just one box equals 1. So the slope of that is 4 over 1, but you don't leave it that way. Slope is 4. This one starts at 0, 0. And there's our intersections, and you can do it anywhere you want. But the rise is 1, the run is 4. This has a slope of positive 1/4. All right, so find the unit rate in miles per gallon and write an equation. Okay, so this is proportional. It starts at 0, 0. Now, what is going on here? First of all, let's fill in the scale. Halfway to 40 is 20. So these are going up by 20. These are going up by 1s as usual. Now, let's find some good intersection. That looks okay. Yeah, that's it. So this is the pattern. So let's find the slope. Now, the run is 2, but the rise is not 1. Please, there's going to be someone on the test who says the rise there is 1. No, that one box is worth 20, right? From 20 to 40. So the slope is 20 over 2. The slope is 10. All right, so the slope is 10. That means K is 10 because this is a slope that starts for a line or ray that starts at 0, 0. That means the unit rate, and that's what you were asked to find, is 10 miles per 1 gallon, right? For every 1 box, you go up 10. For every 2 boxes, you go up 20. It's 10 miles per gallon is our unit rate. So now we're going to write our equation, and we're going to use the letters provided. So it's always, this letter goes first, the one where y is goes first, and m equals 10g. Every point on this graph can be found with that equation. So if I have 8, right, m equals 10 times 8 equals 80. That better be 80 at 8, and it is, because 8 gallons will go 80 miles. This better be a very large truck that only gets 10 miles per gallon. All right, so we're going to fill in the table using the data about the cost of apples, and let's say this is in dollars, from the graph. If the relationship is proportional, find the constant of proportionality and write equation. We know it's proportional because it's starting at 0, 0, and it's straight. So let's find some good intersections there. But also let's fill in the table. So 1, all right, so this is each worth 1 as usual. And these are each worth 1. That's interesting. So 1 looks like it's going to be a half, but let's wait. 2 goes with 1, right? The cost of 2 is $1. The cost of 3, it's not 4, goes with 2. So if this is a proportional relationship, blank over 1 equals 1 over 2 equals blank over 3 equals blank 2 over 4. So what goes with 1? 1/2 goes. This is a complex fraction, right? You can have a fraction in your fraction. So 1 apple is $1/2. It's halfway to 1. So what's 3? 3 is 1.5, right? 3 is 1.5. Or you could write it 3/2. Or you could write it as 1.5. Oh no, that's a good point. This is money, right? So we could also write this as money, 50 cents, and this one is $1.50. That would also be correct. All right, so it is a proportional relationship. Find the constant of proportionality. We just did. It's 1/2, also known as 0.5, either way. And then the equation is C equals 1/2 A for apples. That's not pounds, so it's C equals 1/2 A, and I absolutely just as good would be C equals 0.5 A, either one. K is 1/2 or 0.5. These apples are 50 cents each. Costs $12 per hour to rent a boat, including a $24 upfront fee, not feet. So, complete the table, plot a graph, and write an equation. So, first of all, this is not a proportion, right? It's $12 per hour, but it's going to start at 0.24. Then it's going to go up $12 per hour. So let's see this. So when H down here is 0, its cost is 24. Then 1 hour later, you're going to add 12, and 1's going to be at 36. Where would that be? Well, nicely, this is going up by 12, so it goes right there. And 2, we're going to get another 12, would be at 48. And 3, you don't have to make a table, it doesn't ask you. 3 would therefore be there, right? It's going to be linear. It's going to be in a straight line like that. Okay, so we're going to complete the, oh, I didn't put the table. Maybe it's coming in a second. Plot a graph and write an equation. So to plot this graph, we don't just put those points, right? We don't put those points. We put a ray through those points to say if we keep renting the boat, we keep paying the money. And we have to write an equation. C equals what? Well, what is the slope, right? It's not a K. Well, first of all, it's plus 24, right? Because we're starting at 24. So these are in the form y equals mx plus b, right? So we're going to start at 24. And then what is the slope here? Well, the run is 1, but the rise is 12, right? It's $12 per hour. So it's $12 per hour plus 24. So it's C equals 12H plus 24. And I have a feeling the table is about to pop up. Nope. Okay. Then we learned about the coordinate plane. All right. What are the 4 quadrants? Where everything is positive, and I would write this, is quadrant 1. And then it goes counterclockwise, the opposite of clock. Quadrant 3 is where everything is negative. In quadrant 2 over here, right, you start with a negative and then you end with a positive. Quadrant 4 over here, you start with a positive and end with a negative. We've labeled our quadrants. All right, so you're going to find all these points. So A is at, you get the x coordinate first, 1. The y coordinate is 4. B, where's B? It's way over here. X is negative 8. Y is 5. C, x is negative 2. You go up to the x-axis, and y is negative 7. D, you go up and get positive 3, and then y is negative 3, halfway between negative 2 and negative 4. E, all right, where is E? E, you have to go down and get the 0. That's usually where the mistakes are, right? You got to write that 8 second, because you always put the x coordinate first. That is on the y-axis, right? A was in quadrant 1. C was in quadrant 3. B was in quadrant 2. D was in quadrant 4, right? The 4 combinations. E is on the y-axis. Is F on the x-axis? Sure is. All right, if you have a 0, you're not in a quadrant. You're on an axis. G is where? 0, 0, which has a special name, the origin. And H also, and the origin is on both the x and y axis, H, 9, 0, also on the x-axis. Find the length of PN. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the other. It's 11 units long. That's line segment PN. Right, so plot the ordered pairs, negative 4, negative 6. X is negative 4, Y is negative 6. Positive 4, negative 4, right there. Draw a line through the points. How many different lines go through those points? Only one. So let me draw that one and only line that goes through those 2 points. What's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is right there. It was 0, negative 5. You can't abbreviate that. That's y-intercept is 0, negative 5. Does it have an x-intercept? Sure it does. It's over here somewhere. Find the slope and x and y intercepts. All right, so let's first of all do the slope. You go down to the good intersection there. The rise is 2, the run is 5, so the slope is 2/5. The y-intercept is right there, 0, 2. Now we're also asking for the x-intercept. That's right there. That's negative 5, 0. X-intercepts end in 0, y-intercepts start at 0. Now, what's the slope here? Notice the ramp is facing the other way. So the run is 5, but the rise is negative 2, so the slope is negative 2/5. The y-intercept and the x-intercept are the same point because it's crossing both of them at the same time. Both the y-intercept and the x-intercept are 0, 0. Write an equation in y equals mx plus b form. So slope is m when we're in this form. The y-intercept is 0, comma b. So you write y equals 6x, and when it's negative, you write minus. Find the slope and y-intercept. So the slope is always right in front of x. So what's the slope? The slope there is 1. 1x is 1. The y-intercept, if you write 3, you're going to get no points. The y-intercept is 0, 3. All y-intercepts start with a 0. What's the slope now? The slope is a negative. It's negative 1/3, which means it goes down 1/3. Didn't ask you that part. What is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is 0, 0. Does each ray represent a proportional relationship? The blue one does not go through 0, 0, no. The red one does not go through 0, 0. It has a slope of 0, but it doesn't go through 0, 0, so no. And the green one also no, because it's not straight. All of those are not proportional relationships. We did graph like the red and blue ones. They have different equations, but they are not proportional. In high school and algebra, you'll be graphing ones like the green one. They have equations, they're just not proportional. Good luck on the homework.